today. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Can't think of a better place to be on St. Patrick's Day. My name is Mary Kay Zarabliff, and I'm a longtime friend of Karen's and a writer. And in fact, in this room of writers and art historians and designers, there's a lot of talent in this room, and policymakers. I'm pretty honored to be the one standing up here giving the introduction. After the reading, as Donna said, you'll be able to buy books and get Karen to sign them. So this is your chance to stock up.
Okay, how about that? Yeah. Thank you so much, Mary Kay. That was just amazing. Thank you very much. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And I love this chair. I mean, let's do a chair like this. It's fantastic. Welcome and thank you very much for coming. I'm really happy to be here, and thanks to Busboys and Poets and Global Exchange for having us. I want to start by saying a few words about the genesis of the thing with Willie. First of all, you should know that if you Google the title, you're going to get Willie Nelson. This book started with a novella called Sapphire Street, the story of Lewis Clinton, who was a shoe salesman in Houston in the 1980s. And then I became interested in Lewis's parents and in their friends and in historical events early in the century. And one story followed another until I had a collection about two families in Galveston, Texas and beyond. The Clintons, who are white, and the Wilkins, who are African American. Through the 20th century, the main characters have children and grandchildren who figure in story after story. Several are set in Galveston. One happens in New Orleans, one in Vietnam, another in Japan, and another in Washington, D.C. However, each story does stand alone, and they just crop up adjacent and sideways and diagonal to each other. It's not a strict chronology. Plus, I grew up in Texas, and I'm fascinated by storms. And once I started learning about the great hurricane in Galveston of 1900, I was hooked. So there are storms and beaches and tides and swimmers all through the book. Galveston, as you probably know, is an island off the Gulf Coast about 50 miles from Houston. I'm not going to read you a storm story tonight, but just to mention that most of us have been thinking recently of Katrina, but that 1900 storm remains the greatest natural disaster in American history. 6,000 people were killed. Before I start, I also want to thank Gail Spilsbury and Bergamot Books for the many good ideas along the way and for producing such a handsome edition. And thank you to Mary Kay Zarabliff, Diane McEachran, and Wendell Williams for their various contributions to the text of the book. I've been trying to find a connection between Galveston and St. Patrick's Day, but I really haven't been able to except for a couple of Irish bars. I'm going to start with a passage from Sapphire Street, the long story